So far this year, NASCAR has really had a good start to it. But unfortunately, there's stuff outside of NASCAR's control that's going to influence how this year goes. I'm not saying the racing on the track is going to be bad by any means. I think NASCAR has that figured out. They've covered all their bases. The problem is the world around NASCAR. It figures that once NASCAR actually does get it figured out, the world goes to shit. But the thing is that you need to know how these things are going to affect NASCAR, because this isn't the first time they've been in this kind of rodeo. First off, we need to look at a big story that's been going on for about the past year or so, and that's inflation. I want to just preface right now, I'm not going to go into any political views on this. I personally don't care about your political views, and you shouldn't care about mine. What I want to talk about is how a lot of these things are going to affect NASCAR fans, just the industry as a whole. And who knows? Maybe I'm just sitting here being a glass half empty kind of person, and this stuff might not affect it that badly. Fingers crossed. But anyway, going into inflation. Obviously, things right now are pretty expensive. If you look around pretty much anywhere you go, everything is costing more. In the news, there's inflation left and right. It's not very good. And here's a few statistics to look at. These aren't perfect one-to-one statistics or anything, but generally it's stuff that the layperson can really look at to see how things are going. Right now, according to the US inflation calculator, it says that $1 today is worth 10% less than $1 was in 2019 pre-pandemic, which is a pretty big amount in that short amount of time. And even more so, it means that inflation since 2012 is 22.5%. 2012 being big because that is when the most recent TV contract and broadcasting rights were signed. So while I'm talking about 2022, there are going to be a few more things past 22 to talk about. So that's something big to look at right there, because NASCAR is going to have to go into this asking for a hefty amount, a lot more than last time, simply to match the worth of this past deal if they're trying to. The power of the dollar is down right now, and this isn't just for NASCAR as a whole. Teams are going to be affected. With the new car, they're going to have to spend more money, as the people supplying parts for these cars are going to have to charge more so they can get the same value out of their product. And fans, well, they're not going to have as much extra cash to spend to get to where they need to be when it comes to attending NASCAR races or even watching some of them on TV or streaming them. NASCAR fans generally are the ones who are most affected by giant economic changes like we're going to see in the next probably year or two. This has been seen before, and I think that things probably aren't going to change that much. If you look at NASCAR fans, they're generally older, lower middle class, working class, or are a lot younger and don't have a lot of expendable income. And both of those blocks are really going to get hit hard soon. But the big place they are, and this is again partly with inflation, is with gas prices. Oil prices are through the roof, which means that gas prices are. Right now, as of recording this video, the US gas prices on average are at an all-time high. And the thing is, they're probably not going to go down anytime soon. I'm sure you've seen everything going on with Russia and Ukraine, and it's a horrible thing. But one of the side effects is that there's a lot of sanctions being put on Russian energy and different Russian products. And because of this, there's a lot of oil prices from Russia that are going up. And the thing about the oil market around the world is it is a worldwide market. So any changes to it will increase the price if someone is charging more. There's already projections that we could see these record gas prices exceed $10 a gallon. And this is going to hit the teams for one hard. Number one, of course, is racing fuel. It's going to cost a lot more to make these kind of fuels. It's going to cost a lot more to get these fuels brought to the track, as well as pretty much anything brought to the track. Gas prices are insanely high. Diesel prices are even higher, so it's going to cost the teams more for hauler drivers. I wouldn't be surprised if we see for almost the entirety of the season, especially later on, 36-car fields, as those are just the insured charter teams. Because even if you go to a race as an unchartered team, you're going to make less money, and on top of that, if there are more than 40 cars, you might make that trek out there just to miss the field, and then you're at a huge net loss with everything going on. Now, higher gas prices are going to make all prices go up, whether it's food, energy. Every industry is going to have higher prices and higher inflation. All of this works in tandem. It's like a self-projecting prophecy of doom for this in a way. And it sucks. And it's going to hit every part of the industry, every little corner of it. Everything is going to go up. It's going to be harder for teams of every series to get there, especially the lower teams. And it's going to be a lot harder for fans to get there. Tracks are going to have to charge even more on top of how insanely high the prices are for food, drinks, any kind of amenity. A lot of at-track experiences might be a little worse for wear. Might cut down on the really long lines at the concession stands, but for the wrong reasons. Now, of course, this is something that I'm not going to go too far in, but it is something to keep an eye on. If there is an escalation over in Europe with everything going on, there's going to continue to be more and more restrictions, and the world's economy is going to go to the brink. For instance, 75% of U.S. fertilizer comes from Russia. So if there's problems with supply chains, especially for food and water and stuff like that, we're going to see NASCAR and every sport for that matter affected. A lot of luxuries that a lot of people had in a good economy are not going to be there for NASCAR to take advantage of in a bad one. This is kind of going to be 2008 and onwards on steroids. If you're old enough to remember, 2008 was the Great Recession, and this saw NASCAR's largest hits in popularity, both on TV and at the track. Attendance plummeted. It was going down a little bit before, but because of how bad the economy was in 2008 and into 2009, the attendance at the track went down insanely fast. And as for people watching at home, this is really what started the trend of cable cutting. I don't think that you're going to see as big of a drop this time because NASCAR and viewers aren't as reliant on cable. They're streaming more. They have more streaming products that cost less. But I think you are going to see this really affect, maybe in the next month or two onwards, attendance at the racetrack. NASCAR is going to survive this. I'm not going to say it's the end of the world. I'm just saying it's going to be tough times. There's going to be tough times ahead for everyone. NASCAR will not be excluded from this. Racing as a whole is going to be in for a really big wake-up call, and you're probably going to see a lot of cuts across the board simply because, well, these organizations can't afford to take the hit. This goes for NASCAR, IndyCar, even F1. Everyone is going to be affected by this, and it's just going to be a fact of trying to weather the storm. Now, I know that this hasn't been the most positive video, but I want to hear what you think. What do you think NASCAR can do to kind of lessen the blow for the industry, for fans, for anyone in general? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're at it, leave a like on this video and share this video. Subscribe to the channel if you like the content I'm putting out. And also to all my channel members who have really been helping support the channel, I'm very thankful for your support. So until next time, have a good one.